DeGeneres has been on a downward trend ever since her career-ending 2020 scandal began. In this time, she was accused of facilitating a toxic work environment at her show, along with being a horrible person in real life, not the nice woman that we see on screen. Let's get into 10 more reasons why she was cancelled. And at number 10, terrible ratings. After everything that happened with Ellen's cancellation in 2020, she thought she would come back on air for her 18th season with an apology and it would all be fine. But that was not the case, and many fans did not accept her lame apology. After a few shows, it was clear that the scandal lost her a large portion of her audience and her ratings were tanking. Apparently over 1/3 of her loyal viewers had stopped watching, which started to become a huge concern for the TV execs. Part of the reason why was that she didn't have A-list guests on her show. There was a rumor that the show was struggling to book high-caliber stars because they didn't want to be seen on her show. After the dismal start, Ellen announced that this season would be her last and she will not be coming back on air for next season. Many think she wanted to quit before she was fired. And at number 9, Drew Barrymore feud. Drew Barrymore and Ellen seem like similar people on the surface, but behind the scenes there is tons of tension, and they are no longer friendly after a big falling out. The two worked alongside each other on a new NBC show called First Dates. Ellen was a producer while Drew was the host, and almost immediately tension started when they had different views on the project. The show was described by the network as a groundbreaking series that would explore all of the simple wonders of a first date. Apparently Ellen expected to be the one calling the shots, but Drew believed she should have creative control because she was the movie star the people were tuning in to see. The show ended after one season, so they didn't have to work alongside each other for long, but it's still a touchy subject. And at number 8, a photo with George W. Bush. Before her main scandal of having a toxic workplace, Ellen was exposed for being friends with former Republican President George W. Bush. Many felt that since Ellen is a vocal Democrat, there's no way she could be friends with someone who holds such different views from hers. Former President Bush was photographed laughing with DeGeneres in autumn of 2019 at an NFL match between the Dallas Cowboys and Green Bay Packers. After a photo of them together went viral, Ellen spoke on her show and tried to set the record straight, telling her audience, quote, "Here's the thing, I'm friends with George Bush. In fact, I'm friends with a lot of people who don't share the same beliefs I have. We're all different, and I think we've forgotten that that's okay, that we're all different. When I say be kind to one another, I don't only mean the people who think the same way that you do." The reaction was very controversial. And at number 7, former bodyguard. After many people came out revealing personal experiences that they had with Ellen, a bodyguard that worked for her at the 2014 Oscars exposed that he had a terrible time working with her that night. Tom Majikak was hired to protect DeGeneres, her mother, and her wife Portia de Rossi as they attended the 86th Academy Awards, which Ellen was hosting. But apparently the experience was very demeaning. He told Fox News, quote, "I'm holding their hands and walking them through individuals and large groups of people. Ellen is the one person that I've been assigned to, and I've been assigned to quite a few celebrities in the past, that has never taken the time to say hi to me." The bodyguard said that Ellen's wife, Portia de Rossi, was very pleasant and kind, and it was really just Ellen that was rude. Adding, quote, "It was very cold and it was very sly, and it was actually kind of demeaning in a way that she treats people other than those who are in her circle." And at number 6, Kathy Griffin. Kathy Griffin is known for getting in feuds with other celebrities, and thankfully she does not hold anything back when exposing how terrible other celebrities can be. Her feud with Ellen has gone on so long that she even trashed Ellen in her book. Griffin even claims she's banned from Ellen's talk show because of their beef. In Kathy Griffin's book she said, quote, "I'm almost positive a certain beloved daytime talk show host once had me kicked out of a backstage dressing room at the Emmy Awards." When describing what this person looked like, Griffin continued, quote, "This person who has short blonde hair has a mean streak that all of Hollywood knows about." Funny enough, the feud started back in 2007 because Griffin did a comedy set where she joked about how mean that Ellen really was. Clearly some foreshadowing. Halfway number 5, Steve Jobs. Thankfully Ellen and Steve Jobs never got into a feud, I guess that we know of, but she did show Jobs just how entitled that she was. A former producer for Ellen's show said that the host once called Steve Jobs to complain about the font sizes on iPhones. Apparently Ellen lost her glasses and wasn't able to read a text on her phone, and she blamed the phone for that issue. The producer added, quote, "She stopped everything and made a call. Next thing we know, we literally hear Steve Jobs pick up and say, 'Hi Ellen.' Ellen told him the iPhone should have a bigger font." The producer added that she's not an evil person, however she is incredibly privileged and doesn't realize that her behavior is not normal. The producer added, quote, "It's not that she's some demon, she just lives in an incredibly privileged bubble and is out of touch with the real world." I wonder what Steve Jobs thought about that call. And at number 4, Brad Garrett. Ellen is beloved by celebrities, so back when she was in the midst of her scandal, very few celebrities had the guts to speak out against her. Thankfully, Everybody Loves Raymond star Brad Garrett shared the truth with his fans. Garrett posted a link to an article discussing the Ellen scandal, and he agreed with the article, claiming her mistreatment of employees was common knowledge. He wrote, quote, "Sorry, but it comes from the top, the Ellen show. No more than one who were treated horribly by her. Common knowledge." Then Back to the Future star Leah Thompson agreed, responding to a tweet from People magazine about Garrett's comment, writing, quote, "True story it is." And at number 3, stole from charity. If you've seen Ellen's show, you know she likes to give stuff away to her audience. But one time she gave away lottery tickets that were supposed to go towards children's education, and a lot of people were angry. In 1984, California voters approved the state lottery with an understanding that 34% of sales revenue would go towards education, so it was a net good for society. However, on one episode of her show, she gave each audience member $500 worth of these lottery tickets. One whistleblower for the lottery company came forward after, saying the tickets were worth over $200,000. And someone should cover the cost so the proceeds still go to children as intended. Hopefully the show made a big donation after that episode. And at number 2, exposed Mariah Carey. During Ellen's cancellation in 2020, this was a clip that went completely viral because Ellen was using disturbing tactics to get the inside scoop on if Mariah Carey was pregnant or not. Back in 2008, when Mariah Carey came on the Ellen show, there had been rumors circulating that Mariah may be pregnant. However, instead of respecting her wishes to not mention these rumors or further speculate, Ellen forced her to address it on air. After Mariah would not give her a straight answer on her pregnancy, Ellen decided to bring out some champagne for the ladies. This put Mariah in an impossible position because if she didn't drink, everyone would know she was pregnant. Despite all of Mariah's refusing to take part in Ellen's game, she was eventually backed into a corner. Mariah then took a small sip from the glass. That prompted Ellen to start shouting that Mariah is pregnant. It turned out that Mariah was pregnant, but sadly, she would have a miscarriage just a few days later. And finally, at number 1, Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas has had a ton of experiences with celebrities during her time in Hollywood. Before she became a well-known YouTuber, she decided to go on the Ellen show to show off her talents for speed reading. It was back in 2010 when Trish was only 22 and was very new to the industry. Paytas spoke about her 2010 appearance on the Ellen show during an episode of her podcast Frenemies, which she hosted with H3's Ethan Klein, calling controversial help. In that episode, she called Ellen a bitch and said that she wasn't allowed to touch her or look Ellen in the eye. Trish continued on the show, quote, "When all that stuff started coming out about Ellen, I was like, that makes sense because she was so awful. Literally would not talk. They tell you, don't look her in the eyes, don't touch her." And since Trish had a first-hand experience with her, we know it's true. Alright guys, that's all for the list, but before I go, I'm gonna shout out some comments from top 10 celebrities who were forced to go into hiding. The Juliet said, soap actress Andrea Evans was forced to quit her role on One Life to Live in the 80s and leave New York because of a stalker. That is insane. Thank you so much for sharing. And Kimberly said, I'm a recluse too. Sometimes you just get tired of dealing with the BS of people and the world and just need time to yourself away from it. Going to the beach is a great help for me to find calm again. Also taking time to do things that I love, like watercolor paint, crafting, and giving attention to my cat. Many people don't understand others need to isolate sometimes, but it's just that we are fine and enjoy our own company and don't get bored like some do as easily, because it isn't an issue for us to need to have people or things going on constantly in our lives. It wears us out mentally. Many of us build up levels of anxiety over time from chaos and hectic situations. I definitely, get what you're saying. I actually consider myself to be an introvert, even though I'm very social and talkative. I do get my energy from myself. I like to be alone quite a bit. Like if I had too many plans with people, I get really tired out. I just need like a few days to recuperate. So definitely, know what you're saying here. Alright guys, that is all for the video today. I've been your host, Mackenzie Smith, and we'll catch you in the next one.